Hi, shalom, friends. I'd like you to listen to the story that I'm about to tell because I'm not going to complete it, and you, my dear listener, will be the one that has the chance to complete the story. Story goes that there's a man called Sam. He's a wealthy person. He's actually the owner of a factory. He has 63 people working there, tens of millions of dollars worth of equipment. During the day, the people are working, and at night he has a skeleton crew. Of course, such a massive operation needs security, so he hires a fellow called Frank, who's in charge of 6 people. Every night they patrol, they protect, and they make sure that the security of the place is kept intact. Frank is given authority to deal with all minor issues, but if there's a major issue that has to be dealt with, Frank is given strict orders. You are to call me at any time, any place. Don't do anything without me saying okay. 3 o'clock in the morning, Sam is about to turn over on his left side when his private phone rings. A couple of seconds later, he opens up his eyes. It's the emergency phone. He picks it up. What is it, Frank? He says, "Boss, there's an emergency." "What is it?" "It's a danger to life." "Call 911. Who in the factory was hurt?" He said, "I don't have to call 911, and no one in the factory was hurt." "What are you talking about? Why did you disturb me?" "It's about you." "What?" "Yes, Sam, it's about you. Tell me, just answer one question first. Are you scheduled to go to Cleveland tomorrow?" And he's surprised because that's not something that he would share with the security detail. But he said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a 4 o'clock flight to Cleveland." "Well, don't go." "Why not?" He said, "Well, I just had sort of a dream." "No, it wasn't a dream. It was more of a vision. And I actually saw you going on the plane. And there was an incident. And many people were hurt through this incident. And I couldn't see it clearly, but I had a strange feeling that you would be harmed. So please don't go on this flight." So Sam says, "For that you woke me up? You're head of security. Your job is not to see the future." And he hangs up on Frank. Of course, his wife, who was disturbed by this, turns to her husband. "Who was that?" She said, "It's weird. Frank had a dream and he saw me getting hurt on my flight to Cleveland. So some idiotic." She says, "Really? I was going to tell you, I've been having a very bad feeling about the trip. And just tonight, I dreamt something horrible would happen to you. Please, Sam, cancel the flight." "Don't be ridiculous." "Cancel the flight for me." Okay, I don't want you to worry. It's not an emergency. I'll tell you what, I'll cancel it for 24 hours. Thank you." Gets up in the morning, goes to work. Everything's normal. But he didn't forget about that strange phone call, nor his wife's foreboding. So 4 o'clock, he asks that a TV brought into his office. He opens up CNN. Everything's normal. And then at 4:27, there's breaking news that the flight that was scheduled to go to Cleveland was delayed indefinitely because there was a terrorist a bomb threat, and actually this and this happened, and there's a lot of confusion. He realizes that if he would have been on this flight, who knows what might have happened. He goes home and gives his wife a very special hug, and calls up Frank and says, "Frank, I'd like to see you tomorrow in my office at 12 o'clock. And Frank says, "Sure, boss." And the next day, he prepares an envelope to give to Frank, and at noon, Frank walks in, and Sam says to Frank, "We both know the news." He said, "Yes, we both know the news." "Well, sit down. I have an envelope to give you." He sits down, and Sam gives him the envelope. And now you finish the story. What's in that envelope? Well, okay, I can't hear what you're thinking, but I will take a wild guess. Some money. No, tickets to a ball game. Nah. Round trip tickets to Hawaii. Maybe a scholarship for his kid. Did I hear any one of you say or think a pink slip? How about if he gave him a pink slip? That he's fired. You say, why would he do that? And I'll tell you. Frank, you're fired. Boss, I saved your life. Frank, you're fired. You were sleeping on the job. Your job is to be up and be in charge of security. You called me up saying you had a dream or a vision. You are not doing your job, and you are fired. Boss, I saved your life. I didn't say you didn't save my life. Thank you. But that was not your job. I might not have gone on the trip. My wife might have convinced me. I might not have gone on the trip because I could have had a flat tire. And I might have gone on the trip and nothing would have happened. And I might have gone on the trip and been hurt. But either way, in any of these cases, you did not do your job. In fact, Frank, you're lucky I'm not going to throw you before court, because as far as I'm concerned, you put into danger hundreds of millions of dollars of equipment, and the skeleton crew was in danger while you were dreaming. Who knows what could have happened? Now, obviously, you could argue both ways, and I'm sure our first gut reaction is, come on, he saved your life, so what's so terrible? But I think there's value in this made-up story. Because in this story, even if something good happened, the fact that a person did not do what they were responsible to do is actually considered a misdeed or a sin or worthy of being dismissed. I want to ask you, what would you say to a mother, okay, that has 3 children in school? They come home 3:30, 4:30, and 5:30. And there's a neighborhood cleanup starting from 3:30. So she says, you know what, I really want to help clean up this neighborhood. So she goes out and volunteers. Is she doing something good? Of course it's positive. She's working with people, for the community. What do you think her primary responsibility is, though? At least during this time. If not for herself to be home, to welcome her children, and to make them feel loved and cherished, at the very least, to provide an environment for them to be welcomed. But what happens if they come home and the door is locked, and they're frantic, and they're crying, and they're disoriented, and she comes home at 5 o'clock with a big smile? Children, do you know where I was? I was helping rid our neighborhood of trash. No, that will not do it. That will not do it, friends. There are things which are more important, or to put it differently, there are things that there's a hierarchy of priorities. You see, shirking responsibility doesn't mean doing nothing. Shirking responsibility means doing what you should not be doing at that time. So what does this have to do with a rabbi? So let's extend this to the Jewish people. What do you think our responsibility is? Well, our responsibility is to combat AIDS. Our responsibility is to combat illiteracy. Our responsibility is to enhance art and create music. And the answer is yes, maybe. Isn't our responsibility to be a light upon the nations? Is our responsibility not any less to our tradition and our culture? is our responsibility not equally important to pass over and to convey Jewish wisdom to coming generations? So what happens if I'm out there combating world pollution and I'm not spending the time necessary to study myself or to study with others? If I'm strengthening the world community, but I'm neglecting my Jewish community, can't you see that perhaps, though what I'm doing is good, it is in the wrong time and the wrong place? It's Frank who's dreaming when he should be up, even though it happens to be that he dreamt the good dream. You know, exile is likened to a dream. It's because not that we're not doing good things. Every one of us is occupied with doing something worthwhile. And indeed, for ourselves, our family, our community. But the question is that what we're doing our primary responsibility? There's a time to wake up from a dream. The time is now. Let us reprioritize and understand that when we keep our Shabbos, when we study our Torah, when we give charity, when we support Jewish institutions, we're actually helping not only ourselves, but by doing our job, we're creating a world of order, a world of system, and a world where others can do their job as well. Good luck in your mission. Shalom.